Hey guys, and welcome to Thoughts on Things. This is going to be my first video just addressing something that I disagree with on, and I just want to let everybody know that
it's just my opinion.
I'm not attacking anybody for what they think or what they believe. I can strongly disagree with something, and you can strongly disagree with anything that I say, and I welcome the debates in the comments down below. So let's get right into it. First off, I want to let you know that there are major spoiler alerts for the God of War 1, 2, and 3 game and God of War 4. So if you haven't finished those games, or if you haven't, played them, please, I implore you, please play those games because they are amazing, and I highly suggest you, play all of them, whether the news articles like the first, second, and third game or not. They have a really good story, really good character development, and they're just generally fun. So, God of War 4. I recently finished playing it, and it's phenomenal, and I just wanted to see what everybody else's opinions were on it. And I started scrolling through a lot of reviews and things like that, and most everybody's reviews are positive. I did start noticing a few trends that a lot of people think that one of the main things that people address, or the main thing that the game focuses on, is how it's assaulting the toxic masculinity from the first games. And I gotta say, I disagree. I don't think that the first games are about toxic masculinity. The violence in the first, second, and third game is not mindless. There's actually a driving goal. And in the third game, it does address, it's not the fourth game that addresses that Kratos has a problem with what is going on and what he's doing. It's actually the third game. So let's get a bit back into who Kratos is, why he's doing what he's doing, and see if it's unjustified or whether you think it is, justified or unjustified. So in the first game, we discover that Kratos was born and raised as a Spartan warrior. That means, when you popped out from your mom, you get about 8 years, and then you are trained from that point on to the end of your life as a military dog of war. In the military, the main goal is not to address your emotions about a given situation. It's to put those things aside so that you can finish the mission. And the mission is to fight for your king, your country, your people, your family. And that's all that he did. That's what being in the military is. It's removing your emotions so that you can destroy the enemy without feeling any remorse for it. Excuse me for 1 second. I'm going to silence my phone. So going off with that as his origin story, he is a ruthless killer to begin with. That doesn't make it right, but that gives you sort of an idea of where he's coming from. So, how did he become the God of War? Why is the title the God of War? Well, when he was fighting a very arduous battle against barbarians, they were winning and he was going to die. He gave his soul to the God of War, and he won the battle. But at what cost? Later on, Ares, the God of War, took his family away. He killed his family. Kratos felt that pain. I don't know if you've ever entrusted your life to somebody and they've betrayed you in such a way that you don't think you can ever forgive them. That's the emotion driven in the first game. That hatred, that vengeance, that desire for justice. And so he goes on a quest to destroy the God of War and eventually becomes the new God of War, working, again, in a sort of military for the gods. In the second game, he discovers that he has a brother who is killed by who? the gods of Olympus, more pain and loss that he feels that he needs justice for. So he goes on a quest to destroy the gods. Notice the trend here? Vengeance, a desire for justice. I don't think those things are toxic masculinity. Now, I think anybody can have a feeling of vengeance. I don't think that's solely a male thing. I know females that feel vengeance and males that feel vengeance. I know females that want justice and males that want justice. Now, do I think vengeance is a good thing? Well, the third game discusses that very heavily. Every single life that he takes in the third game causes mass devastation to those around him. You clearly see it with every god that he defeats. Famine, pestilence, plagues are ripped and sent to every corner of Olympus and Greece. And he starts regretting and questioning whether what he's doing is right. To an extent, he finishes it. He wastes the gods. But he's sad still. It affects him. He feels remorse for some of the things that he does. Why then, if he didn't feel any remorse, would he take his own life? At the end of the game, he decides that he can trust no one because everyone has betrayed him. Every single god has betrayed him. And he himself is a god. So he decides to end his own life. Now, the fourth game does not remove any of that. It's a progression of those stories. You understand? It's not that there was toxic masculinity. There was such a desire for vengeance. And in the third game, he sees the pain that he's causing because of his quest for vengeance and possibly unjustified justice. In the fourth game, it's still the same man that we've seen in the first 1, 2, and 3 games. But this man has had more time to reflect on what he's done. And he doesn't regret everything that he's done in the first, second, and third game. He even says it in the fourth game that some of the things that he did were justified. Some of the people that he killed deserved to die. But he also says that there are people who he murdered or killed that didn't deserve to die. And I think that he felt those things even before the fourth game. You can see it in the third game. So it's not about toxic masculinity. So what is one of the main focuses of the fourth game? To be honest, I think it's anti-social justice warrior. I think it's anti-safe space. Why do I think that's the case? Well, first, let's ask, what do I think a safe space is? A safe space, in my opinion, is somewhere where you can be free from opposing opinions, free from some of the more harsh realities of life, or let's say free from the pain that might come to you from other people, the pain that might come to you from the outside world. So why do I say that it's anti-safe space? Well, let's look at one of the main antagonists, Boulder, or the mysterious character. Again, spoiler alerts. This character cannot die. Usually that would be such an exciting thing for characters, like, yes, I can't die, so I can do whatever I want. So why is it that every time that we meet this character, he is upset? Every single time he says he can't feel pain. Listen to, if you're playing the game, go back and play the first sequence. There's a quote that he says where he states, "I can't feel any of this. I had hoped that out of all the people that I have faced, that you would be able to make me feel pain." I'm not quoting it verbatim, but it's similar to that. but you can't. He wants to feel this pain. Why would he ever want to feel pain? Because it was removed from him. The ability to feel this pain. With that removal, there's no growth. There's no depth to life anymore. Who removed it from him? His mother did, because she thought that that was the thing that would keep him safe. It did. I mean, he can't die, so it worked. But there was a quality of life. There was an ability to grow. There was depth that was taken from him too. We see that far more than any of Kratos' regrets about his past, any desires to become less masculine. We see that even in his son. Why does Atreus feel so confused about his past? Why does he feel pain? Why is the sickness growing on him? It's because he does not know who he is. Why does he not know who he is? It's because his father refuses to tell him things that he thinks will hurt him. He's putting him in a safe space. He's keeping him away from the truth. Freya is keeping her son away from the truth. You noticing a trend here? Both of these parents are keeping their children away from harm, away from the truth. They are as safe as they can be, but they're destroyed people. They don't know the truth. They're being misled. And whether they're safe or not, they're hurting. They're not who they could be at their full potential. And I think that's, at least in my opinion, the ultimate message. We shouldn't keep our children sheltered. We should tell them the truth. We should let them hear differing opinions. We should let them feel pain sometimes, because pain is how we grow. Mistakes are how we grow. And sometimes it's okay to be wrong. Sometimes it's okay to have somebody else's opinion get thrown at you. I'm throwing my opinion at you. Anyway, I guess that's what I think. Also, what tier do I think this is? I think it's a tier 4 topic, something that we can disagree on and still fellowship. Like, we can still be friends after I say that I think that your opinion is misguided. I think that you might be driving this message forward for possibly an agenda, but I could be wrong. But we can still hang out after this. We can completely disagree, and I think we can still be friends. So what do you think? Do you think this is a tier 4 topic or a tier 1 topic? Do we have to completely disagree and never talk to one another again? We have to understand completely that this is the original intent of this game, or we can never hang out? Do you think this is a tier 4? What do you think toxic masculinity is? Do you think the actual intent of this game is to debunk or remove toxic masculinity? Or is it more about removing safe spaces and letting our children grow and develop? What did you think about the game? Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.